So today's a really great day to have blocks or a chair handy or something that you can use to grab onto, because we are going to be doing a couple balancing poses today and some poses that take weight shifting, and sometimes that can be difficult without a chair if you're not ready for it. So our whole theme this week is about power, and it comes from a couple things, what's going on in our world, and I'm really aware of this idea of shared power, but I'm also aware of when life gets big and when chaos happens and when upsetting things happen, we can sometimes feel like overpowered by all that. And it sometimes makes it difficult to act because we just feel so overwhelmed with all that's going on. So I thought it was important this week that we keep giving ourselves the sense that we can move forward, that we have the strength to keep going and to make decisions or to act in ways that we think will be helpful for the situations at hand. So, and then that coupled with an article I read about immunity, and I was interested to note that the immune system is supported by dense muscles. So the more strength you have in your body, the more it supports immunity. And they especially focused on the lower limbs, so the legs. So the stronger your thigh muscles are and your buttock muscles, the more likely you are to have a strong immune system. So I thought, wow, what a great pairing. And also those qualities are equally important for the vagus nerve. Now I can't say I can repeat a lot about the vagus nerve, but it is a cranial nerve that innervates the body, and it's really key to many functions and really, really important. You'll hear about people that go into cold water baths to stimulate the vagus nerve, and again, it helps with strong immune systems and resilience. And so, again, the lower limbs are super key to a strong and vital vagus nerve action. So that's what we're focusing on today. And we'll begin our practice by a really strong breath practice to initiate that and to bring focus and clarity, and that is Kapalabhati. So we'll start right away with Kapalabhati, and then we'll come into a quieter space where we feel our breath and feel our sits bones and all that stuff. But if you need to bring your sits bones back and apart here so that you're sitting on the top of the sits bones, that would be great. So Kapalabhati is a forceful exhale where the diaphragm presses firmly and quickly against itself, I guess you would say. And we do that 20 times for the first round, and it's about 1 a second. So I'll do it with you, I'll guide you at first, and then, as we go, you can guide yourself. So we do the first round with a full Ujjayi pranayama, full breath in and breath out. Then we'll do 20 of those Kapalabhatis. Then we'll inhale deeply, hold the breath for 20 seconds. Exhale, 1 round of Ujjayi, and then we'll move that Kapalabhati up to 30 with a 30-second hold and an Ujjayi, and then 40 with a 40-second hold and an Ujjayi. And this is a powerful breath practice. It brings the energy up the body, and the translation of Kapalabhati is skull shining breath. So it brings the mind into clarity and focus, and great practice. So here we go. Close your eyes. And we'll just take a few Ujjayi pranayams. So inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Let's do one more of those. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Here's the beginning breath. So we inhale to start for our 20 Kapalabhatis. Inhale deeply and begin. deeply, hold the breath. Exhale with control, all the way out, and then Ujjayi, inhale and exhale. And we begin our inhale for our 30 count Ujjayi. Here we go, inhaling, and begin. Inhale deeply, hold the breath for 30. Try to stay soft in this holding of the breath and the spine long and extended. Exhale with control. Full Ujjayi, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll prep for our last one, 40 counts. Try to keep that breath steady and rhythmic. Inhaling. Inhale deeply. 40 count hold. Soft and long. Exhale with control. And a couple rounds of Ujjayi, just noticing here whether your skull feels a little more light, a little more energy and brightness. And you might notice too that your abdominals feel a little bit more toned, or at least you feel a little more awareness in your abdominals. So from this quiet place of recovery, let's just take our hands out to the side in a T. And I'm just going to have you press through the heels of your hands. So you're flexing at the wrist. And then go the other way. So I guess that would be called extension. And let your fingertips curl around as if you're going to take your own pulse. And then inhale and extend through the heels. Flexion of the wrist. And as you move around to extension, trying to take your own pulse, really reaching those fingertips to your inner wrist. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more in each direction, trying to take it out into the edge of your movement, like really go for a little bit extra extension of the flexion. And then same thing, an extension of the extension. Bringing the fingertips around and really trying to touch the inner wrists. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Release gently and just wiggle your wrists around in circles. And go the other way. And then palms face towards the sky. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Now they feel a little heavier now. But bring in your abdominals, bring in the side waistline, bring in the ribs to feel the center line. So that means that on the exhale they tuck in, and on the inhale they inflate. One more breath here. Beautiful. Let your hands float down together in prayer and leave them at the heart, prayer of the heart. And we'll take a moment to consider, contemplate an area of your life or something you'd like to be more empowered towards. And let's make that our offering today, bowing. Inhaling, coming on up. We'll seal that with a breath and an om together. Inhaling. Take a moment to feel what you've done so far. Feel into how your body's responding, how your mind's responding, how your spirit's responding. And then very gently release your hands and open your eyes. You're actually going to interlace your fingers and roll the wrists around. We got a few wrist weight-bearing exercises today, so you really want to have your wrists warmed up. You're going to take your hands and you're going to encircle your wrists so that I've got all my fingers on one side and my thumb on the other, and I'm finding that place where the wrist is the narrowest. And I'm going to have a relaxed hand as I squeeze around that narrow channel, and then keep the squeeze and start to extend your hand out till it gets really vibrant. And then relax it and squeeze again, and then open up against that squeeze. Sometimes you'll get a little wrist adjustment here, squeeze and open. Beautiful, release that, shake it out, and we'll try that second side. So we'll encircle that narrow part of the wrist with our thumb on one side and our fingers on the other. The hand is relaxed as you find that narrow point to squeeze, and then you extend the hand out. And then you squeeze and relax. And against that squeezing, you open the hand out. Every once in a while, I'll get a little bony adjustment. Go ahead and open that out one more time. Really go for the width of the hand, and then release. And go ahead and shake that out. Okay, we're going to take our legs out in front of us, and they can be like an easy does it Y, not your full extension. And you're going to take your hands, interlace them, and push in front of you and pull your abdominals back. So it's like cat tilt. And just take a moment here to shrug the shoulders a little bit and see if you can get into the space behind the shoulder blades. There's a little teeny shrug and the push and the pull. And then gently release that. And bring your legs into your opposite crossing. We're going to take our right hand to our left knee, our left hand behind us on the mat. And instead of going into a full twist, I just want you to squeeze around the waistlines and the ribs and see if you can lift up. It's like squeezing the lowest part of the tube of toothpaste. So you start there. And then you see if you can just bring more awareness onto the spine, front, back, left, and right. So the spine feels really supported when we go into a twist. You glide the throat back, so so it's in line with the tailbone. And then with that squeezing and breathing, you start to lengthen. And what I would love you to feel in this pose as we stay here for a few more breaths is just that the action of squeezing you into length takes you into rotation. So you don't have to force the rotation. In fact, you'll get a much better result if you activate from your innards. So rather than using your arms to force you into rotation, use the squeezing action around the spine. And you might just take a moment to notice if one side or one part of your spine's hard to feel in that squeezing action. Last breath. We're going to inhale to come out. So inhaling, lengthening the spine. Take a cleansing breath. You can roll the shoulders. And we'll go for second side. So left hand reaches to right knee, right hand behind you, and you just take a minor twist here. You can start the bringing up of power through your feet, shins, knees, thighs, and buttocks to find that lower part of the spine. That squeezing around the waistline. Even the ribs come into play here. Now obviously we don't want the ribs to always stay squeezing because we want them to be able to breathe, because that's where our lungs need to expand. But I want there to be a sense of awareness of how even they come around the spine. And you glide the throat back. If it was like mine and started to migrate forward, checking my cell phone. A couple more breaths. Just noticing how that squeezing action takes you into a subtle but sweet twist, where the effort is only on the action around the spine. Good. We're going to come out on an inhale. Inhaling. Coming on up. You're going to take your feet and place them on the floor. The hands go behind yourself and the fingertips point towards your booty. So we're going to be weight bearing here. So what I want from you is to activate the hands on the mat. So that means it's like you're squeezing a grapefruit. And then you're going to press into your feet and lift up. And you'll get a little stretch for the front of the shoulders. And then exhale, bring your booty back to the block. And we'll do that 3 more times. So squeezing the floor with your hands, press down and lift up. That's the inhale. And the exhale is drawing the butt back down. Here we go, 2 more times. Inhaling, pressing, squeezing, lifting. Breathing. And exhaling down. Seeing if you can get a full breath this last one. Inhaling. And exhaling. Beautiful. Go ahead and cross your ankles, sit off of your block, and if you can, place those blocks near the front of the mat because you're going to need them later. We'll come right onto hands and knees. We're going to take our hands behind or in the reverse position for cat-cow. So you're going to bring the fingertips pointing towards your knees, and then you'll just walk back with your knees until you're in like a cat-cow. And just notice here that the fingers are spread and you can do a little bit of squeezing of the grapefruit. And you're going to bring your abdominals away from the floor just to get that first energetic action. And then you're just going to very gently start to sit back towards your heels, peeling very slowly the hands to stretch them out. Once they get there, sparkle and take your arms up overhead. Sparkle those fingers. Take another breath here, feeling the stretch in the feet. And then here we go with regular position cat-cow. You're going to take your right leg, or tabletop I meant. You're going to take your right leg and stretch it out behind you. My toes are tucked under. And so I can use that leg to press into earth and grow the power. Now again, if this is too much on hands, blocks are really good here. You can come up a little higher, you can grab blocks on their sides there so you just feel a little support. But I want you to focus on the leg and I want you to bring the energy from the foot all the way into the hip. And then I'm going to use that foot, push forward, and then I'm going to retuck the toe. So I just shorten that leg a little bit. And then I'm going to start again. Bring the energy up the leg till I feel the quadricep around the knee and all the way up into the hip, firing up and getting more dense. One more breath there. Keep the strength of that leg and lift it off the floor. Beautiful. Correct for abdominals, so that means abdominals pull into the body, and then the left arm stretches out in front of you for bird dog. We're going to plug that arm in, because the tendency is to reach it out, but I want you to plug it back, like pull from your fingertips, pull from your feet into your core, bring the abdominals up into the body, breathe it in, and then release it out. And go ahead and sit back on your tucked toes. If you're using blocks, keep them handy. You'll need them again. You're going to bring your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, take palms to the sky, inhale. As you exhale, release fingers into the biggest, widest wingspan you can behind you to stretch the shoulders. Let's go for second side. So hands and knees. You take your left leg back, toes tucked under. Bring the energy up the leg till you feel that squeezing action from foot all the way up into hip. You correct for abdominal action, so you bring up low belly, bring up ribs, and then I'm going to push forward and step forward 1 inch so that I really condense the shape and I make it smaller so I can feel that action coming up, and maybe I feel the quadricep and around the knee just really squeezing. Keep that action, lift that leg off the floor so it's super strong. Feel the abdominals lifting into the body, and then stretch your right arm forward and plug it in and breathe. And you're going to keep moving the low belly and the ribs up away from the floor, and you're going to just try to condense all of your energy into your body around your bones. One more breath. And release. Toes are tucked under. Sit on back. Inhale. The arms sweep up overhead. Goofy finger interlace. Palms to the sky. Take a breath here. And then as you exhale, big sweep. Oh, big opening through the chest. All right. Swing or sparkle your hands or flap them. Do something for your wrists here just to open them up. We have a couple more weight bearings. So here's one of the themes for today. I want to teach it to you early on. You're going to plant your hands in tabletop and take your right knee forward. And if you want to just watch this first time, you can. If you've done it with me already and you know what it is, go ahead and join me. So with the right knee forward, you take the left leg back. And now I'm going to turn the right hand out to 2 o'clock, and I'm going to anchor the back foot. So it would look like the back foot would look like the foot on Virabhadrasana 2 on Warrior 2. And I'm going to look down at my right hand and just make sure I've got some external rotation, and that I'm pulling the space between the shoulder blades forward. So I get a little bit of like trenching there. And the abdominals are going to pull back here. And you might feel that you get some weight-bearing action here, and this may be enough. Or you can inhale your left arm up overhead. And you just breathe. You pull your abdominals back and in, and you feel what's touching the floor, and you push away. Good. Last breath. And release. Beautiful. Bring that left knee forward. We'll go for second side. So the left knee comes forward, framing those hands like a triangle. The right leg goes back and anchors down, like Warrior 2. The left hand turns out like 10 o'clock, and then the right hand just comes to your hip. And you're just going to breathe here and feel the weight-bearing aspects. You can look down at that left arm and see if you can spin it out and pull it back so the shoulder blades pull together. And there's a little softening in between those shoulder blades. Correct your abdominals and open your top arm to the sky, and see if you can keep pushing down. So it's like you're introducing that weight bearing, that dense muscle action. Last breath. And then release. Bring both knees together, and we'll tuck the toes for cow-cat. So inhaling, looking up. melting through the heart. There's that trench there between the shoulder blades. And then exhale to cow. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. All right, coming back to tabletop, we're going to repeat that. So right knee forward, left leg back. Anchor left leg like warrior two. Right hand goes out to 2 o'clock. Look at it, externally rotate it, pull the shoulder blades together, and then if it works for you, open the top arm and breathe. And push the floor away. So feel the hand, the shin, and the foot all pushing down. And you might notice that you can do that so much that you could tap your right toe onto your right knee. Looks a little bit like tree pose. If that's too much for you, you don't do it. Exhale, release that down. Come to tabletop. Take a cleansing breath, second side. Left knee comes forward. Right leg goes back and anchors. So my left foot is bisecting the arch of my right foot. Left hand turns out 2 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, I'm sorry, and I externally rotate. I can open my top arm to the sky and start pushing the floor away, like even with the shin. You're pushing the floor away. There's a trenching behind the shoulder blades and an abdominal support here. And if it feels good to you, you can press even stronger and tap your knee with your left foot. Beautiful, and release that on down. And take cow-cat. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, looking down. Beautiful. From here, tuck your toes together and just sit on back, child's pose. We'll walk our fingertips out in front of us and imagine we could grab the floor and pull the crown towards the hands, getting length in the spine as the tailbone reaches down towards the toes. Little traction here, waking that up. Okay, you're going to walk to your right, stretching through the left side of the body, rotating the spine over your right leg, and then walking back to center and over to the left, rotating your spine over your left leg. Walking back to center and then sneaking over onto your right hip a little bit. So there's just a little lean there. And then coming through center and sneaking over to the left hip. Little lean there. Okay, coming back to center. Inhale to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Inhale to cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. And this is your first dog. So please feel free to feel into it, to stretch one leg and then the other, to wiggle hips to circle, to pendiculate, to find your breath, to get juicy. So it's within your power to take care of yourself. So here's your first big opportunity in downward facing dog. All right, we're going to come to our regular downward facing dog. Inhale to tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees and drive your hips back to the back wall. Pick up your abdominals. Good, one more breath there, feeling the power of your legs, and then push yourself into plank. And then pull yourself back to squat dog. Exhaling, pushing yourself into plank. It's like you're launching into something. Exhale, pull it back. Exhale, push. Inhale, pull. And you can take this as slow and mindfully as you want. Exhale, push. Inhale, pull. Exhale, push, waking up those legs and arms. Exhale, pull. And now inhale to tippy toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Take your feet as wide as the sticky mat and bend your knees. It's a little bit like a wide-legged Utkatasana, We're gonna walk our elbows onto our knees, and I want you to feel the power of your legs here. So if someone was gonna try to push you over, they wouldn't be able to, because you're that strong and you're that grounded and settled. So sometimes I have to kind of bounce a little bit and really feel those legs. Okay, I'm gonna rock to the left as if I wanted to stick my left sitting bone out to the left. And then I'm gonna rock to the right as if to stick the right sitting bone out to the right. Let's do that a couple more times. So rock to the left and swing that sitting bone left. Rock to the right and swing the right sitting bone right. One more time each side. Breathing, feeling into that. Come back to center. Make your legs strong and see if you can swing both sitting bones to their respective sides. So left to the left, right to the right. Now you're going to keep your right elbow on the right knee. Reach forward like you're grabbing a weed or something that you want to pull, and pull it back to your knee without changing your stance. Inhale, right arm. Exhale, pull. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, pull. You're never tucking your tailbone under, right? Exhale, pull. You're keeping the sitting bones back and apart. Reach and pull. Last one. Reach and pull. Woo! Straighten your legs and walk yourself forward to downward facing dog. Take a cleansing breath. Okay, we're going to walk up forward to Uttanasana, unless you'd like the power of your legs to help you with a hop or a jump. So either walk, begin, or step and jump. Inhale, exhale. When you get there, exhale all the way out. Uttanasana. Take another breath here and breathe up the strength of those legs as if you want to plug them in closer, make them more dense into your body. Now press with those strong legs up to Ardha Uttanasana. So there's a couple different ways you can do Ardha Uttanasana. So if you bow forward here and you just relax out your legs, you can come up to Ardha Uttanasana, but it's sort of passive. It's just taking a shape without inhabiting it. So we're going to exhale, bow forward to Uttanasana, and we're going to start our Ardha Uttanasana at our legs. So pressing in the earth and pulling that energy up the legs takes us into Ardha Uttanasana. Now our spine is long, Uttanasana. Let's do that 3 more times. So starting at the feet, growing your Ardha, growing your half Uttanasana. Exhale, that long spine down, Uttanasana. 2 more. Pressing and growing and pulling, making that whole body work together. Exhale, Uttanasana, almost there. 1 more. Inhaling, pressing, pulling, densifying. Exhale into Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Use your legs to press your heart forward, and then inhale to come up. Exhale, release your hands. Inhale, fly your arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist. Bow it over to the left. And when you get there, you're going to feel the weight on your right leg. You're going to sneak your left leg out to the side. My right leg is soft. I'm not hyperextending that knee. I'm softening it forward. But I'm going to use my legs here to gather my strength to extend the spine. I'm even going to use my abdominals here. Lower abs, middle abs, upper abs, and then pressing down, I come all the way up, step together, and big, big stretch to release. You can roll the shoulders, cleansing breath. Let's try second side. So we inhale, fly. We grab our left hand with our right hand and we bow over to the right. When you get there, feel the weight into your left leg. Release your right leg out to the side. And then use both legs, like pulling the energy up. See if you can bow a little bit farther. Correct your abdominals. Bring your lower belly and your ribs in. Last breath. Inhale, press down to come up. Big extension as the arms come down. And then roll the shoulders. Cleansing breath. Bring your hands into Samasthiti at the front of the mat. Breathe it in. Exhale, release it out. Inhale, fly. You can look up here. Exhale, dive. Uttanasana. Remember those strong, powerful legs. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees and take your right leg back to a lunge. So when we're working with thigh strength and power, we want to make sure that we get some time to stretch as well. So fingertips can be on the floor or blocks. Lift up your back foot. Just get a little minor stretch and an activation in the hamstrings. So remember that only one side of your body can fire at a time. So as the hamstrings are pulling that heel towards your booty, you're opening up the thigh. The quadricep has to release a little bit. And release that down. Rock it forward and back. Uttanasana. Standing forward fold. Oh, there's that stretch, yeah? Inhale, halfway up. Press it to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees. Take the left leg back to a bent knee lunge. Pause, either hands on blocks or the floor. Take a breath here, making sure you're not hanging into the hip sockets, but they're lifting up. And then you kick up that left leg and you activate that hamstring to open up that quadricep. Fire it up. Good, one more breath. From here, you're going to step on down, plant your hands, step your right leg back to meet your left leg for plank pose. And in plank pose, we just pull the abdominals up. We inhale as we start to squat back. And as you exhale, you swing your left leg forward and then land on it. Remember this? This looks like what we started with in the beginning of class. Left hand out to 10 o'clock. Right leg anchors. Open the right hand to the sky. It's enough here if you want to stay here. You can also try making your pose a little denser and bring up that left leg. Or you can also stretch that left leg out straight in front of you so it crosses across the long edge of the mat. And then inhale. As you exhale, you lift it straight up off the floor. Beautiful. And then release it on down. Come onto your knees. Sit on back. I just realized again that I should always demonstrate that one first. So I'm going to demo it and then you can try it with me for second side. And then we'll come back to it again because we've got one more in the sequence to do. So here's the demo if you want to peek close to your camera, if you're a little confused by what we're doing. Your right knee comes forward. So we're in plank. We bring the right knee forward. There's a little bit of a cow tilt there, and our cat tilt. We drop that knee down and we anchor the back foot. The right hand comes out to our 2 o'clock. We open the left hand towards the sky. Make your pose condense. Bring the energy in, and then you tap. You extend in front of you. Inhale, and you lift. You're trying to lift that foot off the floor. And then you go ahead and put it down, and we sit on down. Okay? So let's try second side together. So inhale, exhale, rock forward onto hands and knees and step on back into plank. Inhale here, abdominals are strong, little trench behind the shoulder blades. Inhale as you come back into a little squat. Exhale as you swing your right knee forward, little cat tilt, place it on down. Right hand out to 2 o'clock. Left leg anchors. Feel the condensing as you open up that left arm. Good. And then you exhale again and tap the toe. And then extend the foot out in front of you. Inhale, expand the pose. Exhale, lift it up. And then return it to the floor and sit on back, Vajrasana. Good job. Give yourself a little congratulations for whatever you did for that pose. And then take a moment to squeeze and extend your fingers. Some good wrist action there. Okay. We're going to come into downward facing dog and move forward into Uttanasana. So toes tucked under. Inhale, cow. Exhale, dog. Take another breath there. Bringing that condensed energy up into the body. And then either step or jump to the front of the mat, inhaling and exhaling. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Bring the hands to the hips. And inhale, the heart lifts to the sky. Exhale, release. Hands into prayer. Big, deep breath. One more. All right, here's the first weight-bearing shifting exercise. So you're going to come down into Utkatasana. My hands are on my hips, and my booty is reaching as if to a chair behind me. I'm going to transfer my weight onto my left foot, and I reach my right leg back slowly into a lunge. From here, then both knees soften. I transfer the weight into that left foot again. I step it forward with a little hover, and I come back to Utkatasana. We're going to try second side. So rocking onto right leg, lift the left, slowly stepping it back, transfer the weight to a lunge. This is where a chair or blocks can come in handy, or a wall. Bend the knees. See if you can step it forward, hover, and plant into Utkatasana. One more time each side. Rocking left, stepping back right. Rocking to the left, stepping right forward. Rocking to the right, stepping back left. Rocking towards that right foot and stepping it forward. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release. Hands in Samasthiti. Take a minute to note the density growing in your legs. Big deep breath. Beautiful. Release your hands. Inhale, fly. Exhale, dive. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees. Take your left leg back. Bent knee lunge. Right hand floats up onto right knee. You can place the left hand on top of that hand, and you're going to press down. So as you press those hands into the knee kind of presses back. And then there's a tractioning forward to bring in your abdominals. From here, you kick up the back leg. The left arm sweeps around and reaches for it and pulls it in. Another good place for a chair or a wall if balance is an issue. And I want you to remember last week's class where we did shins forward, thighs back. Super important here. So if we just let those hips drop forward, we're going to overextend through the front hip flexor. So take the shins and action them forward, and take the thighs and pull them back. And you'll notice that you just got a way better stretch. Beautiful. Release that. We're going to rock it forward and back to Uttanasana. Exhaling, releasing the breath and the stretch. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bent knees, right leg back, bent knee lunge. Making sure those hips don't hang as we walk up to that front knee. And the hands push down and traction forward to help us bring our abdominals in a little more densely into the body. And then you sweep the right hand around, kick up the right foot, grab it, and pull it in as best you can. Remember, shins forward, thighs back. Super key here because it starts the back bend. And then you trench that place in the shoulder, between the shoulder blades. The abdominals lift up and come in, and we get a little bit of a supported back bend. Shins forward, thighs back. Beautiful. Release that down. Step on back to plank pose. Take a cleansing breath here. Bring in your abdominals. Inhale back into your little bitty squat. Exhale, right knee swings forward. Cat tilt. Place it down. Right hand out to 2 o'clock. Left leg to anchor. Right or left arm to open. Exhale, strongly push and bring the foot to the knee. Take it straight out in front of you and see if you can and lift everything up. Good. From there, keep that and extend the pose. Beautiful. And release it on down. I say beautiful because whatever you did was good enough. Sit on back. Take a cleansing breath. If you need to roll wrists around, release them a little bit. Feel free. Couple more breaths here just to rest it out. Feel the cooling. If you need to breathe through the tongue because it's a hot day out there today, please keep cool. Here we go into plank pose. So we push forward into plank, stepping on back. Strong abs, soft heart. Inhale, we start to squat back. Exhale, swing the left leg through. Think cat tilt. Place that knee on the floor. Turn your left hand out to 10 o'clock. Anchor your left foot. Open up your right hand. If that feels good to you, stay there and just make yourself nicely condensed. That's good enough. You're building that strength. Otherwise, you press down and tap. Extend forward. And then exhale. From that exhaled place, you extend the pose. You get bigger, wider, longer, stronger. Exhale, release it back. Bring your knees to the floor. Bring your forearms to the floor. Take a moment in forearm plank. Inhaling and exhaling. And then place your hips on the floor. Place your forehead on your stacked hands and start to rock left and right in lymphatic release. And we'll be here for about 30 or 40 seconds, so I encourage you to really let it go. Like really swing those hips. Even let your head and neck react so there's just a nice snaking, reverberating action up the spine. And breathe. Beautiful, and bring that to a close and just feel the tingling. Feel the results of that practice. We're going to make our way up to forearms so that we're in Sphinx pose. And I want you to tuck your toes under. That always helps us to condense the energy. So you start with that energetic action at the feet. You bring that all the way up through the legs until you feel it growing in the buttocks. Super important here for back bends. We often leave our buttocks out of the equation. I want you to think shins forward, thighs back. And just breathe here and see if you can keep your legs just that strong as you melt the heart. I think that's the hard part, is that as I melt the heart, I want to melt everything, but I want the legs to get stronger so that you keep your heart open, but keep that strong power to act and move forward. This is what's difficult, right? Either we get soft and gushy or we get hard. We want to have both happening at the same time. Okay, untuck your feet, but keep the action. See if you can sneak your hands behind you with those strong legs and find Shalabhasana. You can even lift the legs up here too. We've got 3 more breaths, but bring that energy in, condense it into the body. And then melt your heart forward. Got it, you've got this. Couple more, you can do it. Beautiful. Bring your hands down by your sides. You're just going to lengthen through the heart. See if you can come up towards cobra and then tabletop using your abdominals and then child's pose. Sit on back. Breathe, stretch. Really let your breath be super regenerative here. Breathe deeply through the whole of your spine. Can you watch the breath snaking up and down the spine, bringing in flexibility, generosity? Beautiful. From here, inhale to tabletop. Tuck your toes, cow tilt. Inhaling, exhaling to dog. Take another breath here Just bringing that condensed-like energy up into your dog. Hands are strong. They grab the floor a little bit like grapefruits. So do the feet, but the knees and elbows stay soft. Inhale to tippy toes. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Uttanasana. Inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Hands to the hips here. Stay low. Sit back, but see if you can lift the heart forward. Strong bellies. Come on up to standing. Release your hands. Bring them into Samasthiti. Take a pause. I love it right about now because my feet really feel the floor. My legs really feel awake and engaged. And I not only feel grounded, but ready to move forward with whatever it is, the action that I want to take. Okay, this is where our blocks come in handy. So have your blocks or a chair or a wall handy. I have my blocks on their tallest level. We're working with a moving warrior 3. So you're going to inhale the left leg behind you. Notice mine is still on the floor and my toes are tucked under. So I start to feel the power. I start to pull that power up the legs, and then I use that power to lift that leg up into the sky. And it's just about parallel to the floor. I condense my abs. Inhale. As I exhale, everything bends and I round like a cat tilt. And then I inhale and push back to that place. So it's a little bit like weightlifting for the left leg. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, press it, stretch it out, standing leg straight. Exhale, everything bends. Pull it in. How low can you go? Exhale, press it out straight. We've got one more. Exhale it in. How low can you go? Exhale or inhale it back out and exhale it down and take Uttanasana. You can stay holding onto the blocks for support. Just feel that stretching of the legs. Those strong legs are still bringing energy up into the back. Okay, here we go, second side. So using your strong legs, press yourself up to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, take your left leg behind you on the floor. Toes are tucked under. And you just bring in that energy all the way up into the body. When you feel ready, everything is strong and active. Press down and lift that leg up. Keep it just that strong. Exhale, curl, bring it in. Tight, 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 tight. Inhale, stretch it out. Making sure that that right leg is bending and extending. Inhale. Exhale. I think I just shifted the breath on you. So I'm going to encourage you to find your own breath practice. See what makes sense to you. One more. Exhale, place that foot down, Uttanasana. Press it up, Ardha Uttanasana, Utkatasana. Inhale, stretch your heart forward, abdominal strong, and come up to standing. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Roll the shoulders, cleansing breath. Notice how sturdy and strong and stable and steady those legs feel. Bring your hands into prayer. Just take a moment of gratitude for these strong, capable legs, bodies, minds, and spirits. We have so much to offer, so many actions we can take to support shared power on this planet. As we come into our own power, we're aware that some people don't have access to that. So we send this out like a prayer as we bring ourselves into our own power. We send that out like a prayer towards shared power. Okay? I'm gonna release my hands and open my eyes here, and I'm really happy that I have a wall to my right. So if you have a wall or a chair to your right, you can use that. I'm thinking that we're gonna be doing a thigh stretch. I'll just demonstrate. So I know that a strap is gonna be handy for some of you. So have that handy because we're just gonna be bringing it up. If you want to watch, you'll notice, and I'll turn towards you, you'll notice that my knee is not here. It's really dropping down, so I'm staying aligned. If I just put that foot down, it doesn't change. I might have to change it to grab it, but I'm gonna pull it back in. The other arm can go straight up overhead. And then we bend and we start to kick that back leg back as we go shins forward, thighs back. And I'm moving my stance on the wall with my hand to tippy fingers. And then I'm gonna reach around if I can, and I'm gonna grab that back foot. So now I've got two hands on it. This is all optional, but shins forward, thighs back. Shins forward, thighs back. Trench that place behind the heart. Kick that foot back and get a stretch through your arms. Beautiful, and release. And bring it on down. We're gonna take an Uttanasana. I think that was a demo, but not sure if you join me. So inhale, fly, and exhale, dive. Uttanasana. Big deep breath here. Release it out. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, Utkatasana, hands to the hips. Inhale, come up. So we're gonna do that same side again so that you can practice it, and we'll do the other side twice as well. So right fingertips on the wall or chair. Bring it up. If you need to use a strap here, just take that as an opportunity to stretch out that front leg. You don't have to move on. But if you want to move on, you holding the top of that foot, you bend the standing leg. And you think shins forward, thighs back. And you think of that trenched place behind the shoulder blades. If you can walk down to fingertips, just walk down the wall till you feel your balance. And then if you can, bring both hands to that back foot. You go shins forward, thighs back, abdominals strong. Space between the shoulder blades, move forward. See if you can kick that foot back to stretch the shoulders. One more breath. And release. Beautiful. On down, Uttanasana. Inhale, fly. Exhale, dive. You can use blocks here. Use whatever you need to make this work for you. Big deep breath. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Utkatasana, hands to the hips, strong legs, strong belly, bring it up. Exhale, release, hands into prayer. Take a moment just to notice your body, left and right. What's happening, what you're feeling, what you're seeing. Good, here we go, second side. So turning around. Tippy fingers on the wall. Take a moment to feel your balance. We're going to have the left leg be the standing leg. We're going to go ahead and kick up that right leg and bring the hand onto the top. Now you can stay here. Just remember that that knee can't fly out to the side for optimal alignment. It needs to stay down as if you're still standing on it. So make sure your standing knee is soft and you can feel that whole foot engaged into the floor. And then you start to kick back, both knees bent here. You think shins forward, thighs back. If it works for you, you walk those fingertips down the wall and sneak them behind you, interlaced, shins forward, thighs back, little trench of the heart. Kick back that foot so you feel that stretch through the shoulders, shins forward, thighs back. One more breath. And release. Uttanasana, inhaling, fly. Exhaling, dive. Take another breath here. Soften the knees, strengthen the legs. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha. Exhale, Utkatasana, hands on the hips, drive that heart to the sky. Exhale, release, hands in prayer. Take a moment. Big deep breath, staying in that cadence of the practice. Here we go, second side. Standing on left leg, kicking back right. Take a pause, take a moment to set up the pose. You don't have to do it all at once. Think shins forward, thighs back as you kick that back leg back. Standing leg is bent. The fingertips walk down the wall. Either they stay there or they sneak on back to grab that back foot. Shins forward, thighs back, heart soft and forward. You can kick that back foot back, feeling that stretch through the shoulders, the soft trench through the back of the shoulder blades. And then release. Woo, you did it. Inhale, fly. Exhale, dive, Uttanasana. That was our big Maha pose. So give yourself an energetic, a virtual pat on the back for trying whatever it is that you tried. Take another cleansing breath here, feeling into those strong, active legs. And breathe and bend your knees and come on down to your knees and turn so that you're facing the long edge of the mat. We've got a couple more things to do for our legs before we get down and just stretch them. We're going to stand into Prasarita. So if you've got a chair, you want that in front of you, we're going to go wide-legged stance. So I come forward into cow, I tuck my toes under, and then I can press and do a little jump wide, or I can step wide. From here, in my Ardha Uttanasana, or my Prasarita Ardha, not sure what that's called, you soften the knees and you press, you bring that condensed energy up into the legs until you feel it all the way even around your waistline, and then you bow forward. The knees never go perfectly straight. They stay soft, and the head hangs. Prasarita Padottanasana. Take a few breaths here, just appreciating that stretch. Feeling the quietness of the breath moving through your body, soothing you, opening you, challenging you. From here, we're going to bend our right knee and walk over to our right foot and try to get your forehead to your right knee. Nice big curl. And then press strongly with that right leg as that moves you back to center and over to the left. You can move over to center without doing anything with your legs, but I want you to use your legs. So you bend that left knee and curl over. And now listen carefully. Press through that strong leg to bring you to center. Engage it all the way over and then come to the other side. And if it feels good to you, you can lift hands off the floor. You can even take like a prayer and you just work. It's like, you just get into those legs, pushing and weight transfer. So you really feel what the legs have to do to get you into that side lunge. You don't just get there, but you work strongly and diligently to get there. Just like we do when we want to change something in our lives. We don't just get there. We have to work strongly, mindfully, diligently to get there. One more. And then come back to center and bow deeply. Beautiful. One more breath. And come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Turn your left foot out so that now we're in a lunge. It's like Warrior Two. You're going to bring your left elbow onto your left knee, and you're going to open your right arm to the sky. Okay, but to change this up a little bit, we're gonna bring the left arm inside. So now my elbow's on the inside of the thigh. And I bring my right hand on top. And I'm gonna press and condense that energy and see if I can find how that opens up the twist. It starts to twist my low belly a little more towards the spine. And I breathe. One more breath. Good. Go ahead and stretch out that leg and walk towards center. And then turn over to the right side. So the right foot out. Bring the elbow to the knee. It's already locked. And then open up the left arm to the sky. Take a breath here. And then you're going to transfer your right elbow in and bring your hands into prayer. And you just push. And you condense that energy. And you feel how that pressing of the hands kind of takes that belly and swings it up to the left a little bit, bringing more muscle action. Beautiful. Release that out. You're going to come on down to the floor, drop your knees to the floor. We're going to move down towards sitting. I'm going to recommend here, if you have some blankets, that you bring them here and make a half pillow fold. We're going to do a little restorative pose here. So I do a half pillow fold. And then another half pillow fold. Beautiful. Now there's lots of choices here, and I know that not everybody has the ability to sit back in Vajrasana. I sometimes will even make this higher by having blocks handy. So you're going to sit on back, and maybe one of these blocks is actually for your hips. So you're going to sit down, and maybe just sitting like this is going to be the challenge for you. But my feet are going to squeeze that block, and I'm going to reach back and find my pinky toes, and I'm going to pull them wide apart and then clip my all 10 toenails onto the floor. Meanwhile, I look down at my knees and I make sure they're not splaying outwardly, but they're coming closer together. That may be enough. If you want more, then you start to sit on back, and you can bring forearms to the blanket or the floor. Actually, I guess if you want to do forearms to the blanket, you got to turn the blanket into the other direction. You got to make it perpendicular to the mat so that you can bring your elbows on, and that might be enough for you. And then you just condense the energy of the legs into the spiral, into the inner spiral. So you bring that energy all the way up, and then see if you can extend through the spine. Now, if you'd like to have more, that's when this other configuration comes into play. You can ignore me if you're happy where you are. Otherwise, you can try leaning back here onto these blankets. I'll take the top blanket and just make a little pillow, and then I condense the energy of my legs, and I bring it up into the body so that I'm really safe in this pose. If I get any pinching, I know that somewhere I'm not active enough, and I make the pose less. So maybe I bring another blanket in, or maybe I bring a block in, but I still work with that condensing energy. It's a little exhausting because you have to really bring in, it takes so much effort to change. It takes so much effort to shift out of our comfort zone and move forward. We've got one more breath here. When you can stretch the thighs, you really open up that front body and get it ready for back bends, okay? You're gonna release out of that. You can just pull the feet out one at a time. You could roll off to your side. I'm gonna keep these blankets just the way they are, and I'm gonna scoot on down until I feel really supported in my spine. And my blocks here then can be used if I go into if I bring the soles of the feet together, and it's like a Supta Baddha Konasana, just a supported one. Please have your neck supported with a curl of the blanket. Make sure that the back feels supported with the props underneath you. And make sure the hips feel supported by blocks or pillows or blankets. And once you get into your place of comfort where it feels pretty good, then I want you to work on relaxing and letting go. As we worked really hard today to bring in power into the body, here's another great pose for opening up the solar plexus, that place of shared power. So if you want to bring your hands to your solar plexus just to give it a little kinesthetic marking, it's right below the rib cage. Just take a big deep breath into there. The color is yellow. And I like to do a little guided relaxation for that area, because when we hold on to our solar plexus, and it's usually unconscious, it means we're holding on to our power. And it's really important in our world right now that we learn to let go of some of our own power and share it. And that's when we can become really interdependent, right? And then when we move up into the next chakra, which is the heart, it comes from this place of mutuality rather than, you know how some people always take care of other people but for a price? So it looks like their heart is open, but there's always a little power behind it. We want that not to be. We want the power to be left mutually, so that the open heart can come from a place of true sharing and mutual understanding. So you can release your hands out to the side for this meditation. And you're going to picture that place of your solar plexus. And you're going to imagine that your solar plexus is a fist. And you're going to picture, you don't have to do this muscularly. This is just an imagination work. You're going to picture that fist being like a black power fist, really strong. And there are times for that where it's really important that we know our power and we speak to our truth. But I want you to feel how exhausting that would be to hold that fist over time. And so I want you to try to exaggerate it. In your mind's eye, imagine each finger coming into the fist and pressing until you almost felt the fingernails of the hands pressing into that fist, until that fist got so tired from holding that. And a couple more breaths, a couple more imaginary squeezes of that fist. And then I want you to start to release your pinky finger from the fist. And then your ring finger. And then your middle finger. And then your pointer finger. And then your thumb. And just relax that out until the solar plexus gets the message of openness, of shared power, of releasing your grip from your power. And breathe into that place of the solar plexus, Manipura chakra, lustrous gem. And imagine all the gems, all the lustrous gems of everybody in the whole world being brilliant. And this will be our prayer today. That as we share our power and as we all become brilliant, we light up the world and we move into the next chakra with a deeper, more mutual love and shared power.
support underneath you. And let yourself rest even more deeply. Let go of any tension in your jaw, in your eyeballs, in your belly, in your solar plexus, in your hands, and in your feet. See if you can let your senses turn inwards until you can no longer hear anything around you. Let the healing of the practice come into every fiber of your being. Deepen your breath. You can haw it out as you're ready, a sigh. That letting go piece is so important in our practice. And as you're ready, begin to move and stretch. You can stretch your arms overhead and stretch your legs long. Eventually you'll bend your knees and you'll roll and fall off to your right side. And from there you look down at the floor. Plant two hands, let your head drape down as you roll up. We find our way into Sukhasana with our hands in prayer at the heart. And close our eyes as we feel back into our practice. Our pose of sitting the way we began, noticing if we feel different or shifted or changed or empowered. We take this moment to practice gratitude, especially for ourselves that we were able to come to the practice, for our bodies, for this time, for each other, and for our teachers. And we take a moment to share some of what we gained and send it out into the world. And we seal that with a breath and an Om together, inhaling deeply. The divine within me honors the divinity in you. Namaste.
If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Namaste.